From a coloring page with no lines that some might consider an absolute mess of color to a twisted snowman rising up from the depths of bellowing smoke, I decided to give reverse coloring books a go, and my reasons for it are pretty sound. First off, I like inking. It's my favorite part of the process, it zens me out, and it's what I look forward to the most when I sit down to do art. Next up, it's an excellent creative exercise. Just looking at a complete mess of something and finding anything within that is just, I enjoy doing it. But more so than any of that, there was a larger underlying reason for it. Life can just zap you, take all your mental energy and drain you. And come at the end of the night, you don't always even have the capacity to enjoy your hobbies. This summer, I have been restoring my grandfather's Durango. Everything from brakes and welding on it and electrical. And then we got a puppy. Paw. Good girl. Other paw. Good girl. Good girl. Lay down. Good girl. Harley, speak. Relax. Relax. Ah, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, not yet. Not yet. Relax. Not yet. Not yet. Good girl. Good girl. So I decided to try something a little different, and that would be a reverse coloring book. So what I'm gonna do here is I am going to roll some dice and we're gonna check out the page. And then I have a pretty good idea of what I wanna draw. And I'll get into that once we see the page that we're dealing with. All right, so we rolled a 96. Let's see what page 96 shows. Now there's 103 pages in this book, but there's not actually 103 pictures. So what we got here are blank pages. I guess that's a good thing depending on what medium you're using to create your line art in a reverse coloring book, because that's what these are all about, adding your own designs and line art, taking something abstract and creating something from it, which I think is a really cool concept. I was doing stuff like this a few years ago, taking watercolors and just filling a page with nonsense and then creating something out of it with colored pencils and ink. So let's see what we got for 92. So it looks like 92 is going to be blank, so we're going to be working with 93. So what I want to do here, what I want to make is something related to the winter and snow. And because it's been snowing here in Philly actually, and I want to create something like that. It's been a while since we've had any substantial snow. So the little bit we did get actually feels like something. All right, so before I get into talking about the art I did and whether or not I'm happy with it or what I could have done different, the book seems like it's a decent quality. The cover seems like it'll protect it. It's not like just some thin paper. It's feels a little waxy on the outside, so that should help with spills. And then it's good cardboard. There's not a whole lot to say there. It is nice that the pages are blank on the other side. You can see the art I did and how it's kind of coming through that page, but it did not bleed onto the next page. If you're using alcohol markers or say like Sumi ink, your results may vary. I used Copic Multiliners, so that's probably why I didn't have any issues. The page didn't buckle, the paper didn't, the surface of the paper, the grit, the tooth of it did not come up off the pens. I've had that problem with some papers and these pens and some other pens, so you don't really got to worry about it clogging up your nibs. I enjoyed the whole process of looking at a complete abstract mess and making something out of it. The bottom here I kind of did out of laziness because it was, well, I didn't want to do the whole page. I wanted to do kind of the center. You see with the top there, the background, I didn't do a whole lot. Now this, I could have done a little more. I could have added charcoal eyes, another carrot nose, and another twisted mouth, kind of like I got going on here. But I didn't, so it's kind of just like this abstract shape that's, the eyes are drawn to it because I put some effort into the shading and a nice thick outline, so it doesn't quite disappear into the background like maybe it should. The other thing was the charcoal eye. I kind of got this grotesque thing going on, so it's almost bug-like rather than being snowman-like, which is fine, I guess, because I was going for something a little more dark, not a happy-go-lucky winter type scene. You got this mouth down here. I didn't quite put effort into the teeth, so if you're not told they're there, you don't know they're there. The carrot nose, I probably could have done a little larger, and the reason for that is I did kind of follow the shapes that were already here a little closer than I will probably do on the next couple. I really enjoyed this. It's fun. I'm going to do a few more. Maybe this is my jam here because I really love inking. It's my favorite part of the process. And what I did with the pens, because my other pens were dying in the middle of making this art piece. So I had to order new pens. And the reason I got new pens was I found a decent dealer on Amazon that actually sells legit Copic pens, and I have the full set now. So I was able to go, to do the shading, I was able to go from a 0.03, and I believe the highest I went was a 0.3. And what I did was I started out with a thicker nib on the inside, the darkest part of the shadow, and just kind of scribbled out using thinner and thinner nibs as you got into more lit areas. And I really like how that came out. I was originally going to crosshatch this, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I tried something new. The smoke is what it is. That's what it looked to me. That's why I went with smoke. Kind of just these wispy plumes, and they really fed into the way I like to do my line art with these very weighted lines and thick, bold blacks and shit. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I'm mostly happy with it, especially since this is the first bit of inking I've done since it's been at least a year, which is probably why my other Copics dried up. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I really like how this came out, and I am looking forward to the next one I'm going to be doing because there's some really cool art in that book. So, have a good one. I'm Greg, aka whatever. Drop a comment. If you've done a page in this book and you got it up on an Instagram or something, drop that link. I'd like to see it. Have a good one.